Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today. This is your primetime destination. News, newsmakers, talking points. The big talking point is the day after Diwali. Fireworks have choked North India, especially the national capital. The Supreme Court ban on crackers is up in smoke. Who is to blame? We look at that question on the news today. But first, as always, it's time for the 9 headlines at 9. A race against time to save 40 workers feared trapped in a Uttarkashi tunnel collapse. Relief and rescue work on in full swing. Oxygen being supplied inside the tunnel. So far, the workers are safe. Air quality in the national capital deteriorates after Diwali. AQI above 500 in many parts of Delhi reaches hazardous levels. Delhi government blames firecrackers for pollution, says the BJP instigated it. The BJP hits back, calls AAP statement shameful. Politics escalates in Telangana over a Congress minority declaration. BRS says Congress has been betraying minorities. OAC calls it a poll gimmick. Congress hits back, saying the KCR government has misled minorities over the years. Prime Minister mocks Rahul Gandhi in the state of war. Madhya Pradesh says Congress will promise gold that comes from potatoes. Rahul Gandhi hits back, accuses the BJP of not focusing on the core issue, he says, of a caste census. Retail inflation drops to a 4-month low of 4.87% in October. In September, retail inflation had eased to 5.02% with a sharp moderation in food prices and the impact of the LPG price cut. The Singhania corporate family saga plays out now on social media. Raymond Group chairman Gautam Singhania announces split with wife Nawaz Modi. This after videos of her allegedly being stopped from attending Singhania's party or entering his home went viral. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak sacks his Interior Minister Suella Braverman after being accused of stoking tensions, calling pro-Palestine protests hate marches. The deadliest phase of Israel's Hamas hunt. War rages near Gaza's Al-Shifa hospital. Newborns at risk as they are taken out of incubators. Israel claims the hospital is a Hamas operation headquarters. Gang wars spread in Canada. Indian origin man and his 11-year-old son shot dead in Edmonton. Another gangster, Parmveer Chahil, also reported dead in Toronto. But the story that's breaking at this moment, over 40 workers remain trapped after a tunnel under construction collapsed in Uttarkashi yesterday. Oxygen and food are still being supplied to the workers who remain trapped. Relief and rescue work is on in full swing. Prime Minister Modi, Uttarakhand Chief Minister are taking stock of the situation. As I said, 40 workers still trapped in that Uttarkashi tunnel collapse. It's been 24 hours now since that rescue operation is on. The good news is oxygen and food are being supplied to the workers trapped. But remember, because of the weather conditions, it is not easy to conduct that operation that's going on at the moment in Uttarkashi. So that really is the latest update on the situation in Uttarkashi, where, as we said, 40 workers remain trapped at the moment. Those images are coming. Chief Minister Pushkar Dhami examining the situation on the ground. 40 workers trapped in an under construction tunnel in Uttarkashi. Ankit Sharma, our correspondent, is joining me live now from Uttarkashi. Ankit, it's now been more than 24 hours. What is the latest update that you have on the rescue operations as night falls?
Good evening, Rajdeep. It's going to touch 40 hours as long as the workers are concerned. More than, 40 workers are still standing behind the debris, and the machines are continuously working to cut into the debris, but it's giving a hard time for administration because the 30-meter 30-meter distance is proving to be hard because as long as they are cutting the debris and the cavity is still falling apart and it is coming into the way, which is forcing the machines to go back again. A 5 meter distance is being covered in 2 hours, and when the debris fall again, they have to go back to 5 meters again. So it's really giving hard times for administration, and the clock is ticking. Prayers are being done for the workers to come out safely, but administration is trying hard to cut into the debris and rescue the workers safely. So far, it's more than 40 hours, almost 40 hours right now, and the workers are still being stranded behind the debris.
But the workers,
It was a 60-meter patch where the debris had blocked the tunnel.
but
Yeah.
the workers are still being provided oxygen and food supplies. So, in that sense, there is still contact with the workers. Am I correct?
Yes, Rajdeep, it's a good news that workers are still being in touch through communication via pipeline, and they are being given food as well as oxygen through a pipeline with the help of compression. And as long as we are getting updates from the authorities, they have told us that in the latest communication being made with the workers, they have told us that they are fit and fine and they don't need any medicines as of now. We also spoke to the NDRF personnel, and they also told us that the workers are fit, and we are constantly working to rescue them as soon as possible. Rajdeep.
Okay, we'll go back to the NDRF later on in the show to get another update on that. But thanks very much, Ankit, for joining us at that moment. You're there at the spot. Just to tell our viewers that rescue and relief operations are continuing, as was said by our reporter, after an under construction tunnel on the Yamunotri National Highway partially collapsed yesterday, leaving 40 workers still trapped inside. The rescue workers are creating a passage to try and take out the trapped workers, but it's not easy. Take a look at tonight's ground report.
It's a race against the clock in Uttarakhand. At least 40 people are trapped after an under construction tunnel on the Yamunotri National Highway partially collapsed on Sunday. A massive rescue operation is underway. Communication has been established with the workers.
As of now, the authorities are present here, the police personnel are present here, and regular monitoring has been done. Food supply has been sent through a compression unit, as well as oxygen has been supplied through a parallel unit. Right now, the situation is grim because it's been more than 24 hours. The workers are still trapped, and it's quite cold over here.
अंदर 40 लोग हैं, वो सभी सकुशल हैं और हमने उनको ड्राई राशन की सप्लाई भी भेजा है, जो हमारे पास पाइपलाइन था वाटर सप्लाई ऑक्सीजन सप्लाई का, उसके थ्रू हमने भेजा है.
The rescue team is drilling a passage through the debris to take out the workers. Officials say heavy machines are being used to cut through 60 meters of debris.
60 मीटर्स का पैच ऐसा है जिसमें मलबा गिरा हुआ था और जैसे जैसे मलबा हटाया जा रहा है ऊपर से मलबा अभी भी गिर रहा है, तो हम धीरे धीरे आगे बढ़ रहे हैं क्योंकि उसमें रिस्क है. हम उसको सॉलिडिफाई कर रहे हैं और नैरो पैच ढूंढ के जहाँ भी वो कंक्रीट हो जाता है उसको ढूंढते हैं. तो अभी प्रेजेंट में हमने 15-20 मीटर एक्सकेवेट कर लिया है और 35-40 मीटर अभी आगे और जाना है. थोड़ा समय लगेगा लेकिन हमको निकाल लेंगे.
The NDRF team says there was no plaster beyond 200 meters in the tunnel, which could be the reason for the accident.
टनल का जो स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट से लेके 200 मीटर तक तो पूरा का पूरा बढ़िया से उसका प्लास्टर वगैरह होके एकदम सेट हो रखा है, लेकिन उसके आगे जो टनल का जो काम चल रहा है वहाँ पे भी प्लास्टर का काम नहीं हुआ है, जिस वजह से जो है वो अचानक से नीचे बैठ गया है. अभी जो मशीन्स जो लगी हुई हैं खुदाई करने के बाद जो एक्सकवेशन का काम कर रही हैं, तो वो करते करते साथ ऊपर से मलबा भी गिर रहा है. ये समस्या थोड़ा मैं पैदा कर रहा है. मलबा थोड़ा सा गीला सा है, हैवी हो गया, नीचे धंस रहा है.
Uttarakhand CM Pushkar Singh Dhami was on the ground to take stock of the situation.
रेस्क्यू अभियान चला हुआ है जिसमें सभी एक्सपर्ट एजेंसियां काम कर रही हैं और आरबीएनएल के लोग भी वहां पहुंच गए हैं और उन्होंने अंदर से भी ये कहा है कि अभी खाद्य सामग्री उनके पास पर्याप्त हो गई है, इसलिए उसको भेजने की अभी ज़रूरत नहीं है अंदर से, जो उन्होंने बताया.
The 13 meters wide tunnel under construction is to link Silkyara and Dandalgaon in Uttarkashi district. The accident has put the spotlight on construction activities in the fragile Himalayan region, which many environmentalists have warned against. With Ankit Sharma, Bureau Report, India Today.
To another big story, the day after Diwali, and politics is now erupting over the pollution levels in the national capital and across large parts of North India. While accepting that the air quality index level has skyrocketed in the national capital after Diwali celebrations, the Delhi Aam Aadmi Party government is blaming the BJP for the spike in pollution, saying BJP leaders violated the Supreme Court guidelines on the cracker ban. The BJP hit back today, slamming Kejriwal's party for allegedly blaming, they said, Hindus for the deteriorating pollution. The BJP said it was the number of farm fires in Punjab, despite the Supreme Court ban, that are responsible for the rising pollution. So is it a cracker ban that has gone up in smoke? Or is it simply the fact that at this time of the year, between stubble fires and much else, pollution levels continue to remain hazardous? We'll look at that in a moment, but first, take a look at this report.
A brazen defiance of the country's Supreme Court. Law enforcement falls short in enforcing the Diwali fireworks ban. Once again, the nation's capital transforms into a smoke chamber. A brief break from suffocating pollution due to rain dissipates into thin air once more. The Delhi government pointed fingers at the BJP for the sudden surge, accusing the Saffron Party of endorsing firecracker celebrations while the city grapples with hazardous air quality.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट के फैसले पर अगर भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेता सवाल उठा रहे हैं तो ये तो कंटेम्प्ट ऑफ कोर्ट है। तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के अगर आदेश की भी धज्जियां भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने उठाने की ठान ली है और लोगों की जिंदगी को संकट में डालने की ठान ली है, तो फिर तो अब उसके आगे तो कोई सवाल नहीं बनता है।
The AAP's assertion sparked a political firestorm as a lineup of BJP leaders launched a coordinated offensive against the Aam Aadmi Party, alleging it to be anti-Hindu.
बीजेपी संस्कृति को होने देना चाहती है, पर्व त्योहारों को होने देना चाहती है। हमें दर्द है कि पटाखे नहीं बजाने को मिल रहे हैं दिल्ली में, क्योंकि पोल्यूशन कारण है, मगर मैं सपोर्ट कर रहा हूं। लेकिन इनकी जो मनसा है वो तो ऐसी है कि दिवाली ही न मने लोगों की।
एक हफ्ते पहले जो पोल्यूशन के कारण थे उनके ऊपर आप काम नहीं कर रहे, लेकिन आप ठीकरा फोड़ना चाहते हैं बच्चों के पटाखों के ऊपर, हिंदुओं के त्योहार के ऊपर। साइंस की रिपोर्ट देखिए, आईआईटी की रिपोर्ट देखिए, पोल्यूशन के जिम्मेदार क्या है। और पराली जहां आपकी सरकार है वहां पर उसके ऊपर आपने कोई काम नहीं किया।
कितना आपके मन में जहर भरा हुआ है कि कोई समुदाय अगर अपना पर्व मनाता है तो उसी पर दोष डाल दो, दिवाली के ऊपर ही दोष डाल दो पूरे प्रदूषण का। और 15 दिन पहले क्या हो रहा था उसका कोई जवाब नहीं। अब 10 दिन बाद जो प्रदूषण होता रहेगा उसके लिए भी दिवाली जिम्मेदार है, उसके लिए भी फटाके जिम्मेदार है।
Meanwhile, Congress pointed out that the ban on fireworks was disregarded even in the VVIP zones of the city on Diwali night.
Even in Lutyens, Delhi, that is where the Supreme Court is, you had firecrackers going off till 2 a.m. in the morning. Every restriction was flouted with impunity.
Assam's chief minister endorsed fireworks as an integral part of the Diwali festivities. Beyond the political rhetoric, scientific evidence revealed how fireworks instantly escalated pollution levels in different parts of Delhi. A pressing question remains unanswered. How is it that law enforcement struggled to enforce a court-ordered ban, allowing these hazardous celebrations to persist? Bureau Report, India Today.
So what is clear is the ban on fireworks was flouted. The Supreme Court had banned it, it was flouted. Who is to blame for that? Is the cracker ban only on paper? Are green crackers really an effective solution? Is there politics now hurting pollution fight? Is a cracker ban anti-Hindu? Is another contentious question I want to raise today. Anjali Rai is national spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, the ruling party in the national capital. I'm also joined by Gaurav Bansal, an advocate who's been looking at green issues for a while. Mathan Devendran is managing partner at Lima Fireworks, which is in the manufacturing business of fireworks. Rajat Sethi is someone who's been closely associated with BJP governments in Manipur. Political analyst joins us. I appreciate all of you joining me on the show today. And Vimlendu Jha, environmentalist. But first, I want to come to you, Anjali Rai, because you are national spokesperson of Aam Aadmi Party, and I want to quote what Arvind Kejriwal said in December 2019. He said he will make the national capital pollution-free in the next 5 years if re-elected in the upcoming assembly polls. In 2020, he said, I will reduce pollution to a third of current levels. Why not accept that you have failed to provide clean air instead of passing the buck to everyone but the government?
Rajdeep, you will have to acknowledge few facts. First of all, you'll have to acknowledge that this Diwali day, Delhiites felt the best air quality day after in last 8 years. Secondly, for the first time, Delhi people witnessed more than 200 clean air quality days in last years, excluding COVID year. There was a 25% reduction in average PM 2.5 levels, and then poor to severe air quality days decreased by 42.10%. कुछ तो किया होगा दिल्ली सरकार ने।
नहीं, ये जो आप कह रही है, नहीं, एक मिनट, कुछ तो किया होगा वो तो बात अलग है, लेकिन सैटरडे संडे वाज बिकॉज ऑफ द फैक्ट दैट देयर वाज रेनफॉल ऑन फ्राइडे, उसका फायदा सैटरडे संडे हुआ। माय पॉइंट इज वेरी क्लियर, देयर इज अ क्रैकर बैन. The Delhi government should be enforcing the cracker ban instead of saying that BJP is responsible for bursting crackers.
Listen, Rajdeep, पहली बात, you should see what was BJP doing. Aam Aadmi Party started the campaign पटाखे नहीं दिया चलाओ, and we did our best to do whatever we could. But on the other hand, what was BJP doing? BJP spokesperson Tajinder Bagga said that he will distribute crackers worth 1.5 lakhs to the children because the court had imposed the ban on selling the crackers and not on distributing the crackers. Then what did Kapil Mishra tweeted? On the night of Diwali at 9:50 p.m., what did he say? Just a moment, I can show you that. He says, proud of you, Delhi. These are voices of resistance, voices of freedom and democracy. People are bravely defying unscientific, illogical, dictatorial ban. Happy Diwali. So what were they doing? They were instigating people to set off crackers. So aren't they these people to be blamed? People were suffering, and they were not at all bothered that the people will suffer from a bad air. They just want to prove that we have failed, and they just want to play
so
the
you're
blame
saying
game.
that the BJP deliberately instigated people to burst crackers?
Yes, of course.
To try and show the Aam Aadmi Party government in bad light. I'll come back to you, ma'am, because it's not just crackers. I will also look at numbers across the last 15 days, even before Diwali, where AQI figures drastically went into the hazardous quality after stubble burning. But Rajat Sethi, for a moment, respond to what you're hearing. You're hearing Anjali of the Aam Aadmi Party saying BJP instigated people to burst crackers. She's quoted what Kapil Mishra says, Tajinder Bagga, and it has been made to appear as if not bursting crackers makes you or the cracker ban is anti-Hindu. I mean, surely the cracker ban of the Supreme Court, is it anti-Hindu? It's now become almost like a religion is being brought into this entire area of environment, which is extremely dangerous.
See, Rajdeep ji, I understand that this is a serious public policy question. This public policy question relates to a public good. And public good doesn't belong to a few individuals, neither to a few court judges, nor to a few politicians. The society has to accept as a problem, and look at it from tangible ways and means to actually address that.
Now, what does that mean? Are you saying the court should? Are you saying the court should shut down? Are you saying the court should stop saying have a ban on firecrackers?
As a public policy practitioner, I'm just trying to instill some sense to brainless banning of things which doesn't work. If you want to create a police state, a nanny state, then yes, by all means, go do that. You've seen that all of these cracker bans for several years have failed. So clearly, this as a policy measure isn't working. So are we supposed to continue to remain dumb that banning is and live in the la la land that banning crackers, etc., is going to eventually work? No, sir, it is not going to work. You have to think more innovatively. You have to think at putting perverse incentives around things which you believe is environmentally not good. Create alternatives to that. Allow market forces to do that, to create green crackers of
Do you think the cracker ban is anti-Hindu? I'll come to those policy prescriptions. Do you believe the cracker ban is anti-Hindu?
Sir, it is much more nuanced than the headline you would want to extract out of me. Let me tell you again, a public good problem requires innovative policy measures and thinking. If you do not wear your thinking caps, you will come out with orders which cannot be enforced by any police administration anywhere in the city. So I think this was wrong on the part of the Supreme Court in the first place. They should have looked at how do you go about implementing a ban like this. A lot of governments have failed in the past. What they should do now is ensuring that there is enough amount of credible evidences put before the public. They should ensure that the governments are able to clearly delineate that because of Parali, this is what is the percentage of contribution to the pollution. This is the exact percentage of pollution coming in from the crackers, and let the public decide. This is how you will educate the public around this public good problem. Okay. Otherwise, you cannot. There is no means that the current governments are currently working on is anything which I see is going to be effective in the near term. If you have to solve this problem, please identify the root causes, have literature, undisputable literature put before the public, and let the public take a call on that.
Okay, as you can see, I'm showing you the numbers of Delhi the day after Diwali, and we'll come to those specifics of how it changed after Diwali. But the fact is, Gaurav Bansal, the argument which is being made is that by many who support crackers being allowed are saying that, look, for the last 15 days, and we can go back to exactly 2 weeks and we'll show you that graphic of how pollution levels continued to rise when there was no crackers, and in some instances, in some parts, was actually higher a week ago when there was stubble burning. So are crackers the soft target for the Supreme Court? Here is Rajat Sethi saying the Supreme Court needs to get more practical, get more real. Cracker ban is not going to work, A, and B, crackers are not the sole reason for pollution in the national capital.
See, relief and rescue is not needed only in Uttarakhand but also in NCR area. Why I am saying so? That before Diwali, it was stubble burning, one of the major contributor as far as the air pollution is concerned. But after the Diwali, what happened that these crackers, the burning of crackers come into the picture, and then there is a high rise of the air pollution. But at the same time, what I wish to say that apart from the political issues which these both parties enjoy the blame game, okay. But as a common citizen, I just wish to know from the learned expert panel members that what is the solution? What the solution is? What is the solution which the Rajat may provide, and what is the solution which the Aam Aadmi may provide?
I'll come to the solution. I want to know, is the Supreme Court being impractical? Let me take that for a moment to Vimlendu Jha, because as an environmentalist...
Never, sir, never. Supreme Court was never impractical.
You're saying Supreme Court was not impractical. Vimlendu Jha?
Even the NGT and...
1 minute. Let me get the environmental perspective. Is the Supreme Court being impractical to say, let's have a cracker ban? You can't ban stubble burning. Now you can't ban crackers. And stubble burning as well as transport and other issues are as much responsible at this time of the year as crackers. So why focus on crackers? That's the argument being made by those who want crackers to be allowed.
So Rajdeep, in any sane and mature society, you'd not need the courts of your country to tell you whether you'd want to give stunted lungs to your children. Ideally, the society should really behave on its own. We don't want our Supreme Courts to get into a realm of governance, one, and the other is realm of public good that Rajat was actually talking about. So of course, firecrackers are not the main reason why Delhi is a toxic city. And Anjali Rai was actually lying through her nose when she was saying that, Delhi has had 200 good air days. Delhi has had the first good air day on September 10th, 0 good air days in October. The only good air day or semi-good air day that we perhaps had was in November, and only because it rained. So therefore, it's not something that the government of Delhi actually did, because of which Delhi's air improved. As you rightly said, it's because of the weather in that sense. There are perennial sources of pollution, and all our political representatives sitting here, they have completely failed to understand that why is it important to really have fresh air or better air in the entire region, locally, regionally, or nationally. And all those sources are known to us. As an Aam Aadmi Party, there's a deficit of 6,000 buses. The central government, we do not know who the environment minister of our country is, and why should the central government not be convening an emergency meeting? What can be more emergency than this? Perhaps WHO and other bodies have said that this is more dangerous than COVID-19. 2 million people dying every year, and still. So, of course, Supreme Court imposing a ban, of course, Supreme Court imposing a ban on various other things, and that completely not followed by the citizenry.
No, but it seems like sound and fury, Bimlendu. The Supreme Court seems like sound and fury disconnected with the reality on the ground. Either you have effective enforcement, you give the police the powers to ensure that if anyone violates the ban, they are arrested. That won't happen. The police turns a blind eye. So what's the point of a ban then?
Absolutely, Rajdeep, and that's why sometimes we as citizens, we need to understand that our right to breathe is more important than our right to celebrate a toxic festival. Diwali is not about toxicity. Diwali is not about 30 times worse PM 2.5 levels that we woke up to. You have a bad throat today, and every other child, every other ICU is inundated with patients, and therefore it is not about what the Chief Minister of Assam is talking about, his right to celebrate patakas, or so on and so forth. We are talking indeed, 15 days ago, the air quality was 999, and it was not because of patakas. We agree. But we need to look at episodic sources of pollution, and we need to look at perennial sources of pollution, not just the tutu meme, and not this entire, intellectual bigotry that sometimes we hear about. Let's look at religion, what Rajat was talking about. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend Rajat in that sense. But we need to look at if something pollutes. Firecrackers, green firecrackers or non-green or blue firecrackers, everything pollutes. We need to ban it. When we have a public health emergency, when the entire region is in ICU, you cannot look for excuses to please your God or please yourself.
Okay, those are strong. Those are strong words. You're saying the moment whether it's a firecracker, whether it's stubble burning, if it is seen as a pollutant, we are going to have to, or transportation, we're going to have to find ways around it. I just want to put some numbers again. Particulate matter 2.5, which was the main pollutant, shot up as firecrackers were burst across the capital. Just look at the numbers, because a number of people have said firecrackers had no impact on the air yesterday. The truth is they did. According to the Delhi Pollution Control Committee website, PM 2.5 at Anand Vihar was 374 at 10 PM last night. This shot up to 957 at 11 PM. It further went up to, look at this number, 1,985 at midnight. Just to give you a sense, you would expect this to be well below 100 if you really wanted healthy air. Now we are at 1,985 at midnight as crackers were being burst. It came down to 1,025 at 1 AM and 2 AM. At 7 AM, it was down to 397. At 11 AM, it settled at 141. The standard for PM 2.5 is 60 micrograms per cubic meter. So, Rajat Sethi, while you have every right to say, look at Parali, look at stubble burning, the failures of the Aam Aadmi Party government in Punjab, the truth of the matter is, when I look at these numbers, firecrackers are a contributor, if only for 24 hours you might argue, but they are a contributor.
Yes, they are a contributor for 4 or 6 hours at max. Your data also clearly says that. And ever since, we were children, we've been celebrating Diwali. We knew one night, especially a couple of hours around that, around the peak time when the crackers were fired, the pollution did go up. But the following day, it was business as usual. There is something systematically which is going wrong now, which wasn't the case, say, a decade back or 15 years back or 2 decades back. There is something amiss. What is amiss is that the way Punjab and Haryana belt, the entire paddy fields there are being constantly fed with MSP money. All the farmers have put all their eggs in the paddy
harvesting
basket.
season, I want to correct this. I have spoken to environmentalist Rajat. What has happened is the harvesting season, which used to take place in September, has been pushed back to the end of October. So it comes around the time of Diwali. It comes even as wind speeds become lower. Therefore, the particulate matter settles down. It's a complex issue. My point is, why should politicians and public figures say, no, we won't listen to the Supreme Court? That's the danger.
See, because the problem, Rajdeep, you need to understand is you're cherry picking one thing, which doesn't even have a permanent impact on Delhi's air. It has had an impact. Clearly, your data shows it is back to a level which is normal level. 141 is what your data is showing at 11 a.m., which means that this hasn't had like a tremendous long gestation impact, wherein it is the smoke isn't clearing up from the Delhi skies for days to come. It is not like that. What you need to do is, again, as I said, banning is not an option in any mature democracy. It will just not work. Come up with solutions like green crackers. I mean, there can be a lot of innovation. A lot of these environmentalists, I'm not pointing it to Vimlendu here, but they all queue up in United States and look at the July 4th firecrackers. There they go and enjoy and clap. But when people want to celebrate one of the most important festivals of our country, and which has a distinctive feature of celebrating with lights and sounds, everybody has a problem. Again, my point is, no amount of banning is going to work. We need to find technological solutions to be able to celebrate Diwali the way we have been celebrating for decades, and we'll continue to do that for centuries.
Can you explain, Vimlendu, do these green crackers work or not?
No. So if you look at several reports that have actually come, it's just a greenwash firecracker rather than a green cracker. And in today's case, we've actually seen that, you look at the sky and tell me if these are green crackers that goes 50 meters above the sky and your air is polluted. If there was green crackers that were actually in Delhi and Gurgaon and in Faridabad and in Noida, your PM 2.5 levels would not be 30 times beyond the permissible limits that you just showed to us. One. Second, Rajat, everything in that way, that justification that, only one day we will push our children to an ICU is no logic, no conversation. That logic, 15 days only stubble burning happens. So therefore, we should forget about that as well. Because, 1 day, 15 days, 30 days. When we talk about Rajat, when we talk about United States of America, the air quality index there is 25 or 50. Air quality index on an average in Delhi NCR is 200, 250, 300. American city would shut down or evacuate or suspend all its operation if air quality reached 350. And you and I are merrily talking about everything else while the AQI is 999 in various areas. So we can't compare the two. Diwali is about festivity, but there was many things. Sati was about festivity. Many things were about, our caste system was about our religion. We had to abandon certain practices that would not adapt to the current times. If something is actually taking my child's lung away, I will, yes, please keep holding your head. If something keeps sense my child, if every third child in Delhi actually has a pulmonological disorder, I would do everything in my command to stop that from happening. And that's the reason why every scientific data, every WHO of the world tells you
okay, I will challenge you, Mr. Vimlendu. Go and do your dharna in Punjab. Let us see how they treat you when you go and try and stop the burning of Parali over there. Why don't you do that?
So why is it, one minute, Vimlendu. Why is it, Rajat, either or? Why is it that, why is it that if you protest against crackers, you've also got to go to Punjab and protest against Parali? We accept that stubble burning and crackers are the problem.
That is a 100%
I have also spoken the same way about
one by one, please.
Before I've spoken about stubble burning, right? As in we are talking about firecrackers post Diwali, but all through the year when we talk about environment and air pollution, we don't talk about firecrackers. So my agenda is clean air. My agenda is not attacking firecrackers or anything else. Last 15-20 days, we've been talking about air pollution, not about firecrackers at all, Rajat. So please don't tell me that whether I can go to Punjab, whether I can
let us not do seasonal environmentalism, sir. It is very easy to do seasonal environmentalism and sitting here. What we need to do is together, you and me, let us go to Punjab, let us start convincing them that they are going to remove paddy as a single crop which is being grown. How else do you solve the problem, sir? It is every change comes with hard work. It would require a lot of contentious minds like us to go and convince these farmers that this is perhaps not the right way. Because clearly Aam Aadmi Party has failed. They single-handedly promised us that they have this magic solution that the moment they come to power within 10 months, they'll solve it. They clearly have failed drastically on that count, and they have no right to continue in power because that was their sole promise.
Absolutely, I
both
agree.
to the people of Punjab and to people of Delhi. Now, these people can't do. It is up to you and me, who are well-educated people. At least now let us pass on our wisdom to the farmers. Let's try and convince them. And
Okay,
then
can I for a moment?
and start convincing the BJP leaders who are perhaps cheating.
Okay, well, 1 minute. Can I just stop both of you for a moment, because I want to turn to a manufacturer, because they are the ones who talk about green crackers. Mr. Mathan is joining me. You run one of the companies that manufactures crackers. Only green crackers are allowed as per the Supreme Court order, Mr. Mathan. If the manufacturers have not flouted the ban, then how effective are these green crackers? Are they a solution? Are manufacturers really focusing on green crackers?
Sir, actually, what are green crackers is, green crackers are things which have a 30% less emission compared to the conventional fireworks, and reduce shelf sizes and reduce with no ash. This is the definition of green crackers. So the Supreme Court has ordered that we will have 30% less emissions in PM 2.5. And we have been using the formulas which were designated by NERI, which was attested by CPCB and endorsed by the environmental ministry. So that is the formula we are using now in all the green fireworks. The study has been done for more than 2 years. And then it has been implemented in the industry. So NERI is the top scientific body for any environmental issues in India. So CPCB has very thoroughly gone through all those studies. It has been for more than 1 year. They have cross-checked all the NERI's findings and all the scientific research advancement, and then they have agreed for the implementation of such formulations in the fireworks industry.
Mr. Bansal?
So how can you point blankly say that all these scientific studies, findings and data are correct? Not correct.
Mr. Bansal, you've appeared before the NGT as an advocate. Do you believe that there is a solution out there, that there is a legal solution? Is this a legal solution, or as is being suggested by the likes of Rajat Sethi, that at the end of the day you're going to have to get citizens involved in changing their ways of looking at Diwali? This is not going to happen through a court order.
See, this is something which needs the long-term as well as the short-term measures. As far as long-terms are concerned, yes, there is a need of a citizens' participation. The sensitization is also needed. But at the time of when it's an emergency mode, right now we are literally in an emergency mode. So here comes the banning. I am totally in disagreement with the Rajat that that banning is not the solution. If there is an emergency, then definitely it is only the banning of the crackers, banning of the crackers which can help us.
No, but it didn't work.
And now one more thing.
Mr. Bansal, the problem is that you see the Supreme Court says, with sound and fury we are banning crackers, but it's not working. So if something is not working, you need to look at alternatives.
See, because No. See, it's not working because of the implementation. See, whose duty is to implement the same? It is the Pollution Control Board and the police. So why right now, if you look upon the air quality may be in 999 etc. in 3 digit. So this shows that there is something as far as implementation of the judgments are concerned. See, what the judges can do, judges can sit and they can adjudicate upon an issue. They adjudicated and then the duty comes upon the executive. Executive means the Pollution Control Board, who has to check that whether the manufacturers of the firecrackers are making the green crackers or the crackers. And one more thing, if you will allow the green crackers in such a manner, then definitely emission may be less, but it will definitely if the firecracker will burn in large quantity, then definitely it is of no use. So this is a misnomer as far as the green crackers are concerned.
On that? Need total banning. Rajat Sethi, the point Mr. Bansal makes is an important one. It's the failure of the executive. You see, the police the enforcement agencies are supposed to enact what the Supreme Court does. You are saying that this ban is unviable. Who says it's unviable? What if the police cracked down, went across colonies and started sending out challan notices, putting people, prosecuting those who burst crackers all through the night? If I violate a law in this country, I must face the consequences. The problem is no one is facing consequences.
Rajdeep, you are such a seasoned journalist. Expecting this from you is not good. I mean, look at the number of law enforcement people you have. How many crores of people you put in jail for this? For flouting the ban by the Supreme Court? The Supreme Court also banned MSP on the farmers of Punjab who continue to grow the same variety of paddy which has its maturity around October. Do you want to stop the MSPs to the farmers? See, Supreme Court we all respect. And in a democracy, that's the highest temple to enforce, to enforce what is the common law of the land. But look at, can't there be certain judgments which might not have practical implementation? That's what we're debating here. We're debating here because I think it is the third or the fourth year when the Supreme Court ban is enforced. We still see that there are crores of people just in the city of Delhi and around the country. If you see there are scores of crores of people who are celebrating Diwali. They single-handedly said, okay, from here onwards, the ban is extended to the whole country. Now, do you have the required amount of the police infrastructure, the SDMs, the district magistrates, all of them? Do you want to leave them to handle the emergency situations which turn up during Diwali, or do you want to help, put them to the task that you have to start arresting people from every mohalla and every colony that you go and visit and you find people? That's not practical. Okay, what is practical right now is you need to delineate and educate people.
Just wait a minute.
No, 1 minute, Mr. Bansal. Let Rajat finish. Yes.
The simple point is, if you want to go this route of banning, please, first of all, establish this without a doubt that it is primarily because of firecrackers that you have a permanent impact on Delhi air, not just a temporary one-night impact. That is still, I think, unclear to the common people out there. This is number one. What people commonly believe is that a more permanent impact on Delhi air is because of the burning of Parali. This is a sort of a settled a matter of fact before the public. If you do not first change this settled matter of fact, you cannot go out convincing the citizens at large.
So you're telling me so long as Parali continues, citizens will not accept a ban on crackers. They will say first act against the farmers, then act against us. That's the practical reality. Vimlendu, therefore, a final word. Is there, I can come back here next year with the same debate. There are some annual rituals and this Diwali, post-Diwali day seems to have become one. According to Rajat Sethi, citizens will not accept a ban on crackers unless they perceive that stubble burning has been clamped down also as ordered by the Supreme Court. What is true for the citizens of Delhi must also then be true for the farmers of Punjab or Haryana.
Rajdeep, both burning of firecrackers and stubble burning, both are episodic sources of pollution. Let me correct Rajat that there's no permanent impact to pollution when we talk about episodic sources. 2 to 3 weeks maximum is what stubble burning happens, and therefore Delhi's air quality index, if it's in poor or really bad shape through the year, it is not because of these episodic sources. Delhi and the entire region will actually have to work on those perennial sources. The vehicular emissions that we're talking about, construction, demolition dust, the biomass burning, the thermal power plants, and all of that needs to be worked upon. Of course, this is a seasonal debate. When for 3 weeks we talk about stubble burning, for 2-3 days we'll talk about Diwali firecrackers. But reality is that entire region, entire North India actually has an air quality crisis, a public health emergency throughout the year. Air quality index is bad and terrible and severe and dangerous and hazardous through the year. And we need a plan. And we just don't need campaigns. We don't need our government to run say no to firecracker campaigns or say no to stubble burning campaigns. We need incentives, as what Rajat was actually talking about. We don't need stubble burning, but we will need, therefore,
what is the incentive to someone not to burst a cracker? What is the incentive, Vimlendu Jha? How do I incentivize people? People have been doing it for years. Someone has picked out a tweet that I gave in 2009 when I actually said, I tweeted at the time that I burst crackers with my children. Over the last decade and more, I've stopped doing it. Now, I've done it because I think there has been education, that has taught me that it is important to set an example. However, how do you do it to millions of Indians who may have a very different view? I can't stop them.
And that's where, Rajdeep, what happens that they flare this up by linking this to religion. Diwali is not about firecrackers. It is not about gunpowder. It is not about the toxicity that we are talking about. Have a Diwali which makes your life longer rather than takes your children to ICU. As simple as that. And therefore, we will have to improvise in our faith, in our belief system, in our cultural practices. Nobody becomes a good Hindu by killing somebody else's children or their own children for that matter.
Let me get
in that sense. So what I'm saying is improvise.
You've hit a very important element. Just a minute. Let me get Rajat Sethi to respond to that, because Rajat, the debate has become so politically polarized because the moment I say that we should be observing this ban on crackers, people will say you're being anti-Hindu.
I can't hear you, Rajat.
I celebrate Diwali, Rajat. I have diyas, I have rangoli, I have sweets, I have every other element that comes with Diwali. I just have to stop doing, I just have to be careful about the way I use crackers, that's all. Does that make me anti-Hindu?
No, the problem, Rajdeep ji, the problem is paternalism that goes on unabated right around the Diwali time. This paternalistic attitude that this is how Diwali should be, because I do it. The elite, does it this way, and hence every person out there in the country should follow those diktats which the elites are going to push from the top. No amount of public policy debates can reach to a logical conclusion like this. When I used to study public policy at the Kennedy School, the first thing that was taught is policy making is just 50% of the effort. But communicating policy is another 50%. And no amount of policy can succeed if you do not have both these things working parallelly. So come up with a good policy and communicate it in a way that convinces. It doesn't convince me, Rajdeep. How do I convince other people around my area who live in the city of Kanpur? I have no reason.
Okay.
Please help me first be convinced that this is the permanent reason and the single most important reason for the pollution problem in Delhi. I just want clear scientific reasons for my own, own understanding, and I'll promise you that I'll convince 100 more. Okay. I am myself not convinced at this stage.
Okay, let's leave it there. Clearly, therefore, you need a vast program of spreading information about what damage both stubble burning, transportation, crackers are doing to pollution levels. We also have a right to breathe. Just as someone else may have a right, he believes, to burst crackers, what is, according to me, far more important and fundamental is the right to breathe clean air. And when we can have a debate on hard data, perhaps we can convince more and more Indians to stop bursting crackers through the night, and importantly, do it in a manner that unfortunately damages the lives of other citizens. Think about that. Let me turn from there to our image of the day. Many cinema goers had a miraculous escape in a Malegaon theatre where the latest Salman Khan movie Tiger 3 is screening. Salman Khan's fans burst firecrackers inside the theatre. The police have registered a case, started investigations. We need to put public safety and public health above all else. Think about it. You stay well, stay safe. Good night. Shubhratri. Jai Hind. Namaskar. Hope you had a safe Diwali. Bye for now.